What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out Surviving Iran, the insane F-15 rescue mission explained. This is by AI Teller, who is one of the best YouTube channels when it comes to showing military operations from an animated standpoint. And yes, I've put a stance against AI, but these are obviously using it, as you can look in their description, etc. They are actually making these animations with Blender, and they're putting in some really good work. So I will leave a link down below to AI Teller. They are currently at exactly 2 million subscribers. Let's see if we can bump up them subscribers a little bit more. Can't talk, guys. This is all about that pilot that survived for like 24, 48 hours before he got rescued by the US Special Forces. I'm very fascinated to hear more details about this. I've been sent this video like literally a billion times this week. So we're going to watch it. We're going to have some fun. Again, link down below. If you want to recommend me videos, by the way, when I say people send me videos, Instagram, whether that be on my personal Instagram, which is at originalhuman_, or whether that be the Drink Morale Instagram, which is at Drink Morale. Go buy yourself some drinks if you're in the UK. It's very, very tasty. Wild berries using blackcurrant and raspberries from Scotland. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Also, check out Chug. 10% off, link down below for the best drinking vessel in the world if you want to look like an absolute legend while you're drinking your drink this summer, like I have been doing in the garden when it's nice and hot here in the UK, and I'm soaking up that vitamin D, drinking me drink, reading me book, watching the kids play, just vibing, bit of music on, starts to get a bit darker, fire going, fill me Chug up again with some morale. Later on in the day, something a little bit more potent with alcohol in it, maybe. Feel like Sir Duncan the Tall from Game of Thrones, which if you haven't watched that show, oh, sick. Yeah, you gotta get one of these. 10% off, link down below. Free customization, free bag, ships to America. It's sick. Anyway, let's pull this up. Let's see what AI Telly has to say about this.
How did the U.S. pull off one of the most daring rescue operations in history, deep behind enemy lines?
Okay, first and foremost, it was an insane rescue mission. Insane rescue, like legitimately insane. One of the most daring in history? In history? I don't know. Remember when 4-5 Commando literally strapped lads to the side of helos? That was one. And then throughout history, I don't know if it was one of the most throughout history. Come on, let's put the brakes on there. It was an incredible operation. Incredible. Best in history? I don't know about that.
It comes down to a strict code the U.S. military lives by: leave no man behind.
True.
They will literally send dozens of attack helicopters and over 100 special forces and Delta operators just to bring one person home.
Of course they will.
The mission started when an aircraft...
That's because one operator, one pilot, one soldier is worth more money, infinite amount more money than equipment. Send them all in. Get it all in there.
Went down. After both crew members ejected, the pilot was successfully extracted, but the weapons systems officer was injured and stranded.
Holy
His survival training...
That pilot's massive. Well, the weapons operator is massive compared to the mountains, isn't it? You could just jump over him.
Instantly kicked in. He trekked all the way up to a rugged mountainous ridge and activated his beacon, just as IRGC militias...
Mate, if he's that big on the top of that mountain, he'd stick out like a sore thumb, wouldn't he?
And closing in on the crash site.
It's like the giant of Kandahar, whatever it's called, in Afghan.
They initiated a massive deception tactic, a ruse designed to make the IRGC search entirely the wrong location. When the enemy forces finally realized they had been tricked, all hell broke loose. They swarmed the mountainous ridge surrounding the injured officer.
They tricked him.
Just in time, special forces swooped in on Little Bird helicopters, laying down heavy covering fire alongside A-10 Thunderbolts and MQ-9 Reaper drones. But as they moved...
They got the sound effects right for the A-10, aren't they?
Toward the extraction point, everything went wrong, proving the military is willing to burn a $100 million aircraft just to save a single fallen comrade.
Of course.
This is stage one. When the jet went down, both crew members ejected.
Okay.
The pilot was recovered within hours, but the weapons systems officer wasn't so lucky.
He must have drifted quite far away for him not to be able to grab both of them at the same time. He must have drifted. There must have been quite a significant amount of distance between the two of them.
Wounded from the ejection, he landed in an incredibly rugged mountainous region. Look at the map here. This is the crash site. And this is exactly where his survival training kicked in. His immediate objective? Get to higher ground.
Yeah, definitely.
Despite his injuries, he hiked over 2 miles and scaled a 7,000-foot ridge line.
Nice.
While dodging capture, he managed to trigger his emergency beacon, pinning U.S. forces so they could begin tracking his location.
Yeah.
But he couldn't just stay on the radio. His communication had to be sporadic if he transmitted too often. The IRGC's signals intelligence teams, who were actively hunting his frequency, would pinpoint his exact coordinates.
Yeah, they would have pinged him straight away if he wasn't careful, wouldn't they, to be honest with you?
Then comes stage 2, the CIA's deception game. To buy the downed officer time, the CIA launched a massive disinformation campaign inside Iran.
What they do best.
They started leaking rumors that U.S. forces had already found the WSO and were attempting to smuggle him out on the ground. It worked perfectly. This phantom ground exfiltration successfully diverted Iranian military resources and attention completely away from the actual extraction site. That brings us to stage 3, the tip of the spear. It's 2:00 a.m. The skies over southern Isfahan and Kogiluyu are usually dead silent. But tonight, the U.S. military's most elite operators, the Delta Force and Navy SEAL Team 6, are launching a massive heliborne assault.
So they're both Delta Force and SEAL Team 6. Good God. They had some lads, didn't they? They got the best of the best out there.
They arrive in MH-6 Little Bird helicopters, absolutely armed to the teeth with miniguns and missiles, built for agility and tight mountain corners.
Yeah.
Supporting them are the MH-60 Black Hawks or Pave Hawks, designed to drop in special forces and pull them out.
Yeah.
And they weren't alone. Miles above the pitch-black mountains, dozens of U.S. military aircraft, including HC-130J Combat Kings and...
Which we saw that footage of this aircraft, didn't we? We actually saw footage of it flying around the mountains. So we've seen evidence that this actually is reality, this, and that isn't just propaganda.
EA-18 Growlers cast an invisible net over the region. They unleash a storm of electronic warfare designed to completely blind Iranian early warning radars, all while an MQ-9 Reaper drone kept an unblinking eye on the wounded WSO. Stage 4, and this is the crazy part. The US literally set up a temporary forward operating base inside Iran.
Yeah, I said this in my video coverage of it, that I'm almost certain that they set up a temporary FOB with a landing strip on it.
They seize an abandoned agricultural airstrip, just 200 feet wide and 3,900 feet long, located about 14...
I've cut my thumb, guys. I'm fuming about it. Cut my thumb while I was working out the other day, and it's bleeding like a turd. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
15 miles north of Shiraz city in the southern Isfahan province. They turned an empty Iranian field into a U.S. staging ground. Here comes stage 5.
All right, stage
Despite
5.
the odds, U.S. Special Forces successfully in helicopters navigated the jagged landscape below radar level and reached their objective, establishing a defensive perimeter around the wounded WSO. But time was up. Just as they prepared to grab him and get out, the horizon started moving. IRGC ground forces...
Yeah, the moment you're going to see... The moment sorry, oh my God. The IRGC... Such a tongue twister. The moment they see a bunch of helos in one place in these mountains, they're going to know it's because that they found this individual. And so, yeah, as soon as that happens, considering the bounty that was on this guy's head, they're all going to be sent there. Are they models of Toyotas? AI tell you, like, if we're going to depict them, let's put them in a white Toyota pickup truck.
Popular mobilization units and local militias were rapidly converging on their exact location.
Yeah.
What happened next was an absolute slugfest. A massive hours-long firefight erupted right in the middle of the day. Look at this ridge. They were surrounded, taking fire from all sides.
Oh, shit.
U.S. operators laid down a withering wall of suppressive fire.
Classic.
The commandos locked down a 360-degree defensive perimeter.
Classic.
Guns up, air cover overhead, designed to annihilate any IRGC element that stepped within range. But it was the loitering U.S. aircraft overhead that truly tipped the scales. To keep the extraction corridor from collapsing, American air power continuously hammered the advancing Iranian units. Assets like the A-10 Thunderbolt rained hellfire down on them. The sheer volume of close air support from the A-10s, Little Birds, and Black Hawks pounded the surrounding Iranian positions.
Sounds like a cow, doesn't it? Sounds like a cow from a distance. Yeah.
Heavy toll and resulting in reported casualties across areas like Kuisiyah and Kakan. That air support bought the ground teams the one thing they needed most: seconds.
Well, we know one of the A-10s actually went down, didn't it?
Under the umbrella of that intense air cover, the Special Forces helicopters finally managed to load the wounded WSO onto an extraction bird. Just when it seemed like they were in the clear, things went terribly wrong back at the makeshift landing strip near Shareza City. According to the Pentagon, 2 of the transport aircraft slated for the evacuation suffered critical issues and couldn't take off.
So this airstrip that they took over was obviously not really good enough for what they needed, but they just needed to get there quick, didn't they? So 2 of these aircraft went down, which is crazy the amount of money that is.
Suddenly, it was a race against time. The IRGC was speeding toward the airstrip in a massive convoy. Commanders decided to send 3 more aircraft to rescue all U.S. military personnel and the pilot.
Yeah.
Then, in a scorched earth move, U.S. forces blew up the 2 disabled transport planes, leaving nothing but charred remains for the IRGC.
That's so crazy, that, innit? That they were willing to just do that.
USM H-6 Little Bird helicopter was also spotted next to the remains of HC-130J Combat King 2 rescue aircraft that were destroyed by U.S. airstrikes to prevent secret military data from falling into IRGC hands.
I think that's one of the most like crazy things about this whole thing, that the US is, I mean, you learn in the military, you got to destroy, if you're going to leave the equipment behind, destroy it. Simple as that. You don't want it in the enemy's hands. But the fact that it's 2 giant aircraft and a helo blows your mind, doesn't it?
All of this actually started. The Zagros Mountains, Kermanshah Province, near the Iran-Iraq border. This terrain is characterized by jagged peaks and deep, narrow valleys. It is a tactical nightmare for aviators, but provides excellent terrain masking to hide from long-range radar. However, it also allows enemy...
That scene in Top Gun where they're flying through the freaking valley. Oh my god, it's so sick, isn't it?
...forces to set up devastating short-range anti-aircraft ambushes. But how did the U.S. lose an F-15 E-Strike Eagle, an A-10 Warthog, and nearly a combat search and rescue team helicopter, and a Reaper drone in a single night?
Holy shit, I didn't know they had lost all that.
This is how it started at 2:15 hours. A flight of 2 F-15 E-Strike Eagles crosses the border at low altitude. A pilot and a weapons system officer were flying their target, a deeply buried command bunker. They used terrain-following radar to hide in the valleys, staying beneath the gaze of Iran's long-range Bavar 373 missile network. But what happens when they have to strike? To drop its GBU-28 bunker buster, the lead Strike Eagle has to pull up and move above the mountains. This is breaking the radar horizon. In a gorge below, highly mobile, Tor M1 surface-to-air...
This feels exactly like the mission from Top Gun, doesn't it? Like they have to like pull up last minute.
Missile system is waiting. It achieves a lock, and 2 missiles leave the rails. The pilot dumps flares and pulls high GS. 1 missile is spoofed. But could they evade the second? Well, the second missile detonates on proximity, causing catastrophic hydraulic failure. The crew ejects into the pitch-black mountains, and the Sandy protocol is immediately activated.
Imagine if we actually had footage of that happening. Wow, could you imagine? Because there has been footage online, but it's like infrared, and I think it's all AI. I really do. I don't think it's real footage. But if you actually had the footage, or if you saw it in person, whoa.
But this is the U.S. military, and they will move heaven on earth to rescue a fallen combat.
Yeah.
At 2:45 hours in the morning, because the crash is near the border, A-10 Thunderbolt II operating nearby are diverted for resort, also called rescue escort. Down below, Iranian quick reaction forces are closing in on the
on a Toyota pickup truck. Why?
downed airmen. The Leader 10 executes a low-level strafing run with its legendary 30mm Avenger cannon, neutralizing the convoy.
It got small arms fire.
But how did...
So you have to remember, so this is actually a great depiction actually right here. From what I heard, the A-10 Warthog got hit by small arms and the pilot got hit. However, you can see my cursor right here on the A-10 Warthog. Underneath this cockpit is like, there's like a certain amount of protection that the pilot has. So not only is the windows themselves bulletproof, but there's a certain amount of protection underneath here that is like, it's basically like a massive block of, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's made of, some sort of steel or I don't know, but it's basically to prevent any small arms from hitting. So whether he actually got injured or not from small arms, or whether he got injured from the ejection itself, I don't know. My presumption is from the ejection, but either way, I think the water went down because of small
aggressive
arms.
maneuver come at a cost. The noise and tracers give away its position as the A-10 banks hard, bleeding off airspeed. For context, Iran recently flooded the battlefield with these Chinese shoulder-fired missiles, weapons that are essentially reverse-engineered clones of Russian Manpad.
Whoa, okay.
The Iranian soldier fires a Mossad-2 infrared guided missile. At this altitude, countermeasures deploy too late. The missile shreds the right turbofan engine. But can the Warthog's legendary armor save it? Yes, the armor did save it from this missile launcher as it flew even with a damaged engine. Because of the armor, the pilot managed to point the dying jet toward a plateau and punches out. But just how many crash sites are we looking at? The F-15E crashed deep inside southwestern Iran. Specifically, local reports and verified wreckage photos placed the crash site in the rugged mountainous terrain of the Khojaly and Boyar Almad province, while the A-10 Warthog did not go down over the Iranian mainland. After taking heavy damage during the search and rescue escort mission, the pilot managed to navigate the crippled jet away from the mountains and towards safer airspace.
Interesting.
The rugged battle damaged A-10.
So we managed to get out of the danger zone, but danger zone, didn't it? Which is great.
Eventually crashed in the southern waters of the Persian Gulf,
Crashed in the water.
specifically near the Strait of Hormuz. Now this at 3:15 hours. A dedicated combat search and rescue package launches. These are highly trained rescue units built for this type of rescue mission.
Yeah.
It includes an HC-130J Combat King. This acts as an airborne command center, followed by two HC-60D helicopters, call signs Pedro 11 and Pedro 12. They fly under the radar, topping off their fuel in midair to maximize loiter time.
Okay.
But will they make it into hostile territory undetected? Well, they push deep into the Zagros Mountains just as dawn approaches.
Push deep.
4:45 hours. Pedro 11 locates the A-10 pilot's infrared.
So from what we've heard then, one of these helos also got hit but didn't go down? Is that correct in what I'm saying? This whole situation feels a bit of a clusterfuck, doesn't it? Yes, the extraction of the two individuals, phenomenal work by Special Forces, but it does feel like this shouldn't have happened in the first place. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it feels like there's a few things here that have gone wrong that shouldn't have gone wrong to start with, that could have been, maybe not prevented, but like, I don't know, we shouldn't have been in this position to start with, is what I'm trying to say ultimately.
Strobe. Pedro 12 circles above, providing overwatch with its 50 caliber machine guns. Pedro 11 flares for landing, and the Ps hit the dirt to secure the pilot. Then this happened to hidden Iranian Zu-23, a Soviet-era anti-aircraft gun opens fire from a concealed hideout. It's an ambush. Heavy armor-piercing rounds tear through Pedro 12
Oh
as it
shit, it did
orbits,
get hit
resulting
then.
in severed transmission lines and an injured crew. The pilot wrestles the crippled chopper into a hard-controlled crash near Pedro 11.
Yo, what? The other helo crashed as well?
Rescue mission is now a fight for survival, and Pedro 11 is the only way home. Under heavy covering fire, the crew of the downed chopper sprints to the surviving bird.
Wait, I heard that absolutely 0 people died from this, which if that's the case, considering 3 aircraft went down, that's pretty phenomenal, isn't it, really?
But how did they stop the enemy barrage? Then at 5:02 hours, the C-130 overhead coordinates an immediate strike. 2 F-35 stealth fighter jet.
Yeah, them Iranians, as soon as they fire that gun, surely they know that's it. That's it. You getting these rounds off, that's it. You're toast. Stick your head between your ass and kiss your ass. Stick your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye. Because you're done at that point, aren't you? Stick your head between your ass. What?
Loitering high above in stealth overwatch, drop precision munitions, silencing the anti-aircraft gun.
It's been a long day, guys. It's been a long, long day.
With the A-10 pilot, the PJ, and the crash chopper's crew crammed inside.
Oh my
Pedro
God.
11 is maxed out on weight. But how do you fly an overloaded helicopter escape the Zagros mountain?
You just press up a bit further, right? Is that what you do?
This is how they do it. Pulling maximum power, the engines screaming, they barely clear the tree line and dive back into the valleys, racing for the border.
These pilots, I can't talk, guys. I'm delirious. I've been training too hard recently. I've been doing a lot of training this week. So my mind's just mashed potato. But this pilot must have been absolutely phenomenal to be able to pull off these maneuvers with the amount of weight in the aircraft.
By 5:30 in the morning, Pedro 11 crossed back into Iraqi airspace. Battered, overloaded, but alive. As stated, no one gets left behind. The F-15E crew is still missing in action, requiring a massive JSOC raid the following night.
I wonder if that's why they didn't go back for the second guy, because they got hit with the first helo and they had to get it out and all that stuff.
And if you don't want your data to get compromised by spam mails, jump calls,
Oh, we got an ad right in the middle here.
This data doesn't await. An F-35 was also hit during one of its mission sorties. To properly analyze this incident, you need to understand that there are two distinct types of missiles: radar-guided and heat-seeking. The F-35 was designed to be practically invisible to long-range radar, but it wasn't built to completely hide from heat-seeking missiles. So how exactly did Iran missile manage to bypass the stealth technology of the US F-35?
Pure
Well,
luck,
the secret
horrible.
lies in a major vulnerability that is its heat signature. Its geometry and radar-absorbent materials make its radar cross-section incredibly small, essentially rendering it invisible to traditional early warning and targeting radars.
Whoa.
To give you some context, this is how a plane's radar signature compares to a bird's. But the F-35 is powered by a single Pratt & Whitney F135 engine.
AI Telly's really gone all out with this video. They've done really good with this one. It's not that they're not usually good, because they're usually phenomenal. They are always phenomenal. But this video in particular is really good.
One of the most powerful fighter engines in the world. The F-35 is heavily optimized to defeat radio frequency radar like the billion-dollar S-400 and S-300 missiles. However, stealth does not mean completely invisible. This engine produces a massive heat plume. Instead of using radar, modern air defense networks utilize inferred search and track systems. The answer is this short-range heat-seeking missile like this one. These passive sensors scan the skies for any heat anomalies. Because inferred search and track systems emit no energy themselves, the F-35's radar warning receivers would not alert the pilot that they were being painted by a target lock in the same way a radar lock would. But how did the missile lock, and how did the F-35 use evasive maneuvers? Once an inferred guided missile is launched, the dynamic of the engagement changes to a race of physics and countermeasures. When the missile's IR seeker head locks onto the massive thermal output of the F-35's engine exhaust. But the detection, the F-35 is equipped with a distributed aperture system, 6 inferred cameras positioned around the aircraft that provide a 360-degree spherical view. The distributed aperture system detects the intense heat signature of the incoming missile's rocket motor and instantly alerts the pilot.
Yeah.
To break the...
So, with this being said then, an F-15, an A-10, a Helo, and an F-35 all got hit with 3 of them being downed. That is insane and should not be happening again. Should not be happening. I get it, it's war, right? It shouldn't be happening again.
Lock, the pilot executes high-G evasive maneuvers while simultaneously deploying flares. If the missile tracks the flares but is already within a lethal radius, its proximity fuse will trigger the warhead. The resulting shrapnel and shockwave can cause significant damage to the aircraft's control surfaces, stealth coating, or internal systems without scoring a catastrophic direct hit, which perfectly aligns with reports of the F-35 sustaining damage but safely executing.
Yeah, so it got a bit of damage. It didn't get downed. The F-35 is good. Just needs a little bit of a paint job. You know what I mean? Get over there with a file, brush off the bad paint, repaint it. It's good to go. The other 3, though, are downed. They're done. They're gone. That is, in my opinion, very significant.
Emergency landing. But what are flares? These pyrotechnic countermeasures are made of magnesium or other combustible metals that burn at temperatures
We don't need to know what a flare
aircraft's
is.
engine heat. The goal of the flares is to overwhelm or confuse a loitering munition or kamikaze drone and a surface-to-air missile. But how does it work? It flies it slowly.
Yeah, okay, I think we're done at that point there. Great video. It was pretty much at the end of the video, and I don't think we needed to know the last bit of it. What's important is everyone's okay. Why is my camera all the way over there? It's because I've been slamming on the table so much. Everyone is okay. That's really important. Okay, first and foremost. Secondly, the fact that three aircraft went down. I'm not talking about the ones that went down on the airstrip, right? That's a little bit different. The ones that actually got hit by the enemy, that shouldn't be happening again. Understandably, the aircraft that they had to ditch because the FOB was a bit shit, and they had to get rid of it. That is an unfortunate error, but it was obviously needed because they needed an FOB. That's fine. That is something that you can take on the chin, I think. The 3 aircraft going down, though, we need to be... I'm not saying that the pilots need to be better. That's not what I'm saying in any way, shape, or form. What I'm saying is I think that we shouldn't be putting our pilots in a position to be vulnerable like that. There is no need for it. The F-15, these things can be taken out without the F-15 being that close, in my opinion. I'd love to know your thoughts. I don't think this should have happened in the first place. I'm just really glad that we can be talking about this and not be sad that anyone's been taken out and died. That's what I'm glad about. Great video by AI Tell It. I'll leave a link down below to the OG video. Make sure you go over there, give it some love. Go check out Chug, 10% off link down below. Check out Morale and the Morale Instagram if you want to get a hold of me and recommend me a video. Links down below to both my personal YouTube, personal Instagram, and my personal Drink Morale Instagram. Oh, that's what it is when I slam on the table. It moves me camera. That's mental, isn't it? There you go. I learn something every day. I'm delirious. I've been working hard. Guys. I'm taking the weekend off. I'll see you in the next video. I love you all. This will probably go out on the weekend, or maybe before the weekend, but I'm taking this weekend off. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.